Dean here with Centaur Gaming. Today I want to talk about value. Value means different things to different people. Here in the States, you think, value, the first thing that comes to mind is Walmart, a place where you can buy your goods, food products and home appliances and things for your home, groceries, everything. You can get dirt cheap, or you know when you go there you're going to get something for your money. You're going to come out of there with as much stuff as possible for the little bit of money that you have. We all define value differently. Some people are real tight with their money in some areas, but very extravagant with it in others. I have friends like that, and family too, where they're really tight with their money. They won't go out to eat, won't spend money on anything. But then they'll have expensive cars, or the things that they deem important, those are the things that they sink their money into. They'll be real tight in other areas. And you'll see this even with millionaires. A lot of millionaires, people think that they spend their money crazy, when actually they're some of the tightest people I know. I've worked for many of them. The hardest people to collect for were people that lived in Beverly Hills. I had a sign industry in Los Angeles, and so I thought, well, I know I'll go to where the money is. I'll go to Beverly Hills and Malibu, and I'll do custom painting and signs, and I'll make a fortune. I'll be rich, Little did I know, they're the ones that are living right to the edge. They're living so far above their means, many of them, not all of them, but quite a few of them, they could barely afford a sign, or I'd have a really hard time collecting when it was time to get paid. And they'd string you out and string you out. Quite often I just have to write it off and go, these people are just not going to pay, Meanwhile, they got the brand new BMW, they're living down on Manhattan Beach with an ocean view. They got their little retail place up in Robertson Boulevard in Beverly Hills, and so they certainly have a status quo they're living up to. So early on, I kind of woke up to the fact that, value means different things to different people, what they'll place a value on. People will always rationalize spending money for the things that they really want to spend it on. Hemingway, and I mentioned this in a few older rants a long time ago, Hemingway has one of my favorite quotes. It says, "Pheasant hunting is worth whatever price you have to pay for it." And in other words, he loved it so much that if he had to go to some place and they had an extravagant price to rent the area for the day, or the guns or the jeeps to go do it, he'd pay whatever he had to pay. To him, it was well worth it. It's one of my favorite quotes, as removed as it is from me. I mean, I'm not into hunting. I'm certainly not into killing innocent birds. They can't fire back at you or whatever, but it's still an interesting quote because it tells you, and my dad I've gleaned a lot of wisdom from my dad over the years. I don't get along well with him, but I have learned a few really good tidbits, and one of the things I learned from him early on is that people will do what they really want to do. If they're really interested in having a relationship with you, they'll go out of their way to try to have that relationship with you. If they're not, they won't. It's that simple. So people will make the time to do the things that are important for them, and they'll spend the money for those things. So to me, that's value. It's whether you have a value of a relationship, do you value your job? Do you show up late every day? Are you there early and you can't wait to roll your sleeves up and give people the most for their money? I mean, that's how I look at my business, and that's why I have a good reputation with my little painting businesses. Just yesterday I went out and got some more word of mouth business. I'm trying to drum up some work at typically a slow time of year for work. And it's because of good people that I treated right early on years ago, 5-6 years ago, that I'm getting referrals still today from realtors and from people who do home inspections and stuff like that. Oh, you want a good painter? Here, this guy will treat you right. You get your maximum value for your money. He takes the time. He throws in accent walls for free. He'll help you pick out and design your colors at no charge. If you're painting your cabinets, he'll even install new hardware for free if you buy the hardware. I mean, I always bring something of value. I go above and beyond. If I sell a job, I always throw something in. A woman I talked to yesterday, she wants just parts of her exterior, the trim and fascia boards and gutters done. Well, how much could you do? Just do that. I mean, the rest of it, I just want to try to save money. I said, I'll do it all for this, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll even do your front door. I'll throw that in. We'll do something really nice, just pick out a nice color for it. I always throw something in for free above their expectations to create something of value, because I believe in giving value to customers. So I'm the first person that realizes value when I see it in business, when I see people that are out with a new product or something that's new, and they have something of value they're trying to bring. Instead of trying to rip it apart and look at it skeptically, and there has to be an angle. There's got to be something that they're in it for. I'm sure they're ripping me off. I don't look at things that way. Yes, there's a lot of corporate greed. Yes, we are getting ripped off by some companies and corporations. There's no question about it. So that's why we have to be selective, and we can afford to be. We can, with the days of the internet now, we can take all the time in the world and research it to death. We didn't have that back in the days of buying games, the C64, other than looking at gaming magazines, which I rarely ever looked at more than once or twice a year. You had to just look at, the back of a box on something and decide, well, it says survive the off-road. Okay, so it's off-road, it's cars, it's racing. Oh, it's an arcade style. Okay, so I have to pick and choose and decide, okay, here's 2 racing games. This one looks like it's up more in my alley. I like the off-road a little bit better than paved racing, so I think I'm going to pick this one. You just take a gamble, and then you get home, and quite often you may not like it that much. But you made the best choice you could, and I would still look for the fun in that game. And that's why, that's why I like the internet today, because you can preview things. A lot of people, I don't watch game trailers. I don't want to see, reviews and previews. I don't want to spoil a game for me. Well, it's fine, but how are you to know if it's something that you really want to invest your money unless you buy everything in sight? I can't. I can't buy every new AAA game that comes down the pike, and I've got many friends that do. They'll get everything that comes out, and they'll complain about the game afterwards. Oh, it didn't have this. I thought it was going to have this. Frankly, I was disappointed. So now they're stuck with a $60 game that just sits on the shelf, or they get 50 cents for the dollar at GameStop if they right away turn it in and get something of value for it. So value is in the mind of the beholder, I guess. It's in each person's head as to what's valuable. My wife still thinks that car payments should be $250 a month for a brand new car. I'm like, sweetie, car payments now are $500, $600, $700 and up. I mean, $600 doesn't get you much of a car nowadays. So when we went out, she wanted to get her new car. I tried to get her to get a brand new Camaro. Oh, I don't want to spend the money. The payments will be, $500 and something bucks a month. I'm like, that's what cars cost now. I don't know if you've noticed, we're no longer buying $20,000 cars. Those $20,000 cars of yesterday are now $34,000 to $38,000 now. So those days are gone. If you want to get something that's of value for a medium-sized car with a pretty good amount of quality, you're going to have to spend a little bit more. But she was obsessed with finding something cheap, and she found something for $299 a month. We bought an extended warranty because it has so many electrical gadgets on it. I was unsure about it. So you get for an extra $50 a month. For $249 a month or $349 a month, we've got a brand new, Chevy Malibu, and it's been a great car. Not one problem with it. It handles like a dream. We love the thing. I'm not thrilled with the power of it. It's a big 4-cylinder. I usually prefer V6s on a mid-sized car like that. And it has some weird technological aspects of the motor. The motor sits at a light, it shuts off, and then it kicks back on and you go again. I don't like, so I know it's all part of this, saving the earth, fuel efficiency thing, but there's things I'm not crazy about, but it's her car, she wanted it, for her it had enough power. I said, that's fine. If you like it, you're happy with it, has value to you, then go ahead and get that thing. So to her, she doesn't place a value on cars, where to me, I'll go out and buy a new Corvette if I could swing it. And I'd pay, here's $1,100, $1,200 a month because it's something of value for me. I can no longer pay those kind of payments. I had $1,500 a month at one time for my car payments, for one of my Corvettes and another car. And I gladly paid it. I mean, to me, it's like it cost what it costs. Like Hemingway says, whatever it costs, that's what it costs, and it's well worth paying for it. So I've had to change from that stance now with a lot of things, including cars. So back in 2008 to 2009, I sold off all the last couple muscle cars and vehicles that I had. And since then, I said, that's it, no more cars. I can no longer afford this expensive hobby for me. It's too expensive. I won't pay it. I got to shell out $12,000 or $15,000 to have a car painted, and $3,500 to have the chrome replated on it. And I mean, you're talking $25,000 to $50,000 to restore, to me, which should be like a $3,000 old car. But now that $3,000 car is now worth $15,000 or $20,000. Now you got to put all this money into it. I won't do it. So I jumped off that train with a car restoration and hot rodding thing a long time ago. So to me, I said, well, I'll just put all my money into gaming. So 2010, 11, 12, I was buying every new game that was coming out. And when I got my new Xbox 360 in 2009, I went nuts. I was just buying, used games, new games, every game that came out. I had another YouTuber. In 1 year, I spent $500 buying him AAA games on top of the games. Every new game I buy, I'd buy 2, plus I'd buy a strategy guide for myself. And then I'd mail my friend the game to support his YouTube channel. He was out of work, back injuries or whatever, but he wanted to keep his channel going. So I was happy to support him with his channel, and I've done the same thing, like I said, with Mark Bussler, Classic Game Room, and I've done it with a few other friends. When I have the money to help other people, with Patreon, recently I'm helping Angry Centaur Gaming, with a substantial amount, each month. And it feels good to help people out if you believe in them, so you think you're getting something of value. This guy's already saved me money with his reviews, literally, on a couple games that I was ready to go out and buy. And his thing is, he doesn't rate them with a number score, but he'll say it's a buy, this is a rent, or I'd hold off and wait for a sale, that kind of thing. So to me, he's something of value. So to me, to spend $25 a month to support his channel for Patreon is a good thing. And I'm happy to do that. Right now, it's tough to allocate that kind of money, but it's a small amount of money. I mean, instead of going out and buying expensive coffee or something like that, I'll spend the money on Patreon or something else. So I'm anxious to get back on track and have the money to buy these games. I got Mafia 3 and a collector's edition of the guide right now that I've got pre-ordered. And I'm anxious to play that game. I mean, I know that game is going to keep me busy for months. I'm very excited about it. So it's a lot of money to shell out for me. For me, it is. I have to be very selective. I couldn't get the new Uncharted game, even though I really wanted Uncharted 4. I had to pass on that. I couldn't get the new Doom game, even though it came out, because work was slow. And when I was working full-time for another company before I got laid off with a bunch of other people, because they overshot, they thought their sales were great. And you had plenty of work for 6 weeks, and all of a sudden there's like no work. And then week after week I keep, calling, texting, sorry dude, I can barely keep my number one guys going, let alone all my new hires. We'll let you know as soon as we have something. So it's a kiss-off, basically. So I said, that's fine. I'll run my ads. I'll go back to my own business. I'll make more money anyway. So now I'm back to that process. I lost some momentum in the sales, and I'm kind of recultivating a whole new crop of leads out there right now, trying to get work. But even when I get work again, I still have to be careful with the money. I can't go nuts and buy every new console or game that comes out. So we were at the mall the other day. My wife was getting some new outfits for her new job. And I went by GameStop. They're blowing out all their Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 games. I said, I'll have a look. This was a GameStop I typically don't go to. My local one pretty much blew out most of the good games that I was interested in. So I got for 89 cents, I got a really clean copy without a fingerprint or scratch on it of the original MotorStorm, which I didn't have. I have Pacific Rift and MotorStorm Apocalypse, but to me that's a good value. I'm like, this is a great PlayStation 3 game. I've always wanted to have this since the PS3 first came out. It was an early system selling game for that, kind of like a tech demo, really good graphics. So I'm happy to have this. And then I also found for $30, $29.99, I got a very clean mint, slightly used, not a fingerprint or scratch on the disc. I wonder if it's even been used, the Mass Effect trilogy for the PlayStation 3, because they just recently announced that that there will not be a remastered version of this trilogy, which I was kind of hopeful for, as many as my Mass Effect friends were as well. So to me, for $30, this is a great value. So that means each of these games is $10 a piece. It's a great deal. And first I looked at reviews of both of this, comparing Xbox 360 to the PlayStation 3. They looked virtually identical. I couldn't tell the difference. They both had little frame rate drops here and there, but for the most part, they look real close. And because I've maxed out the hard drive in the Xbox 360, so you know what? The fact that it's on 3 Blu-ray discs and it's more concise and a handsome package, I'm going to give my PlayStation 3 a little love, and I'll get it for the PS3. Like I did all my Batman games, I got for the PS3 as well. Because I'm trying to use up some of that hard drive, which has barely been used. So this is a great value to me. Now, I would have paid $60 for this without thinking twice about it. For 3 games, especially if they come out with a remastered one, but for $30, this is a sound value. So I could afford this. I couldn't afford some of the new games. They have the new Trackmania game I really want to get. I think it's maybe $30. I could have bought that, and I was very tempted to. I had it in my hand, but I said, you know what? This to me will be a better value. I'm going to get a lot more time into this than I will from Trackmania or some of the other smaller games I was looking at. Carmageddon is another one I'm looking at, which looks good. My retro collecting has slowed down. Recently I found this for $12, $11.99, Eve of Destruction. It had a bunch of stickers on it. I took the stickers off. It's a great deal. Yes, the manual for some reason has a torn corner on the cover. I don't know why, but the disc is in great shape, man. This is an inexpensive game. You can pay $100 for this game. The disc is flawless. It's in perfect condition. The case is nice. So to get a very hard-to-get game for $12, I was patient. I've been looking for 2 years for this game. I've seen so many videos on it. I was beginning to wonder if it was just in the UK only. So I've never seen this in the States. Finally, one day at my at my Dimple used mom and pop store, I saw it, but it had stickers plastered all over it. And I saw the torn thing inside and the Scotch tape all over. I said, you know what? I can clean all that off. I'm getting a hell of a game for $12.99 or no, $11.99. I said, this is a great deal. So with tax, it was 13 something. A great value. But I would have paid more. If they had a price at $29.99 on this, I would have jumped on it. So, you know, I got lucky. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you don't. I had a friend of mine that knew that I was looking for this box set of Grand Theft Auto trilogy. This beautiful box set. And the outside of the box has got some scuff marks and what have you. But inside, this thing is absolutely immaculate. It's just in excellent condition. All the maps and booklets. The discs are just super minty. There's no scratches or fingerprints on anything. I'm so happy to have this. And he offered it to me for $30, including the shipping, for $30. And I said, dude, I'll get the money. So my wife sent it via PayPal. Honestly, I really couldn't afford to be buying this or Mass Effect right now. I really shouldn't be buying anything at all because money's so tight. But if I see something of value, I mean, people are paying over $100 for this and up. So for me, it was a good deal. And since then, someone within our Xbox group found this game for like $12 or $13, the whole thing. I don't know if it's in the same condition or if it's as complete as this, and I'm like, well, good for him. I mean, everyone is going to find the best deal. Some people will invest hours going to these Goodwill places and looking in the wild for them. And to me, my time is valuable. I can't go nuts. So to me, I just go to my little local mom and pop store, and there's two of them that are fairly close. If they have the game, fine. If they don't, I say, Pierre, put this on a list. If the game comes in, or if you hear in one of the other Dimple stores that gets it, give me a call and I'll pay for it, as long as it's complete and has the manual and what have you. And they do. So to me, I'm always shopping for value. Like I said, a few years ago, I was going nuts and supporting my friends and buying every new game and console. So I had planned in 2013 of getting an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4, but after the very lackluster Microsoft reveal event, it's all about TV and moving the TV with your hands and with voice commands and the connect this, the connect that, connect, and you know the DRM deal, and everything's going to be online, and I was really turned off. So to me, I didn't value that as much, getting an Xbox One, and I had to look at that for me. If I was an online gamer, I would have got the Xbox One. I think I would have had more fun with my friends playing online with an Xbox One. I'm not crazy about the Windows 8. It's a strange interface. It's like so convoluted and layers within layers and sub-layers. I don't like that kind of a menu. I like the simplicity of the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4 menu. The menu bar, you just scroll across and you go down to what you want, and it just seemed, for me, it seems easier, but that's just me. So this time around, I kind of went without getting one of each console at launch, and going back, I'm thinking this morning, I'm like, I've always had just the one console. When I got the PlayStation 1, I didn't have a Saturn. Now, I did have a Super NES in '91, and I gave that to my nephew along with a big pile of games. But, you know, for me, I didn't there was really nothing competing with it. I mean, yeah, they had the N64. I could have got that. I almost got it for the Pod Racer game. The GameCube certainly had the Rogue Squadron game, which was intriguing, but just not enough for me to warrant buying one. So come to think of it, I mean, I've really always had one console. Even the PS2 I bought at launch because I liked the PS1 so much. I didn't even get for 5 years until late into 2005. I think it was October of 2005, a week before the launch of the Xbox 360. I finally got the original Xbox. By then, the price had dropped on it. It was really dirt cheap, really cheap. I can't remember what I paid, but it was like $250 or whatever it was. It wasn't much. And then I got a bunch of games. By then, all the games were used for it. I could get for $5, $10, $12 a piece, $20, what have you. So it was a good value for me. I thought it was. Get some water. I'm thirsty this morning. Same thing with the Xbox 360. So then for years, other people are enjoying and having problems with the Red Ring of Death, which I never got any of that because I was playing my original Xbox. I was playing The Godfather, the game, Reservoir Dogs, the game Gun. Many of those games were multi-plats are on the Xbox 360 and the Xbox. I was playing on the Xbox. To me, the graphics looked great. They were a jump up from the PlayStation 2. So when now the new consoles came out, I was like so happy with the Xbox. I'm like, I may get this new Xbox gizmo when it comes out. So that's what I planned on getting. But like I said, I didn't know when it came out. When it came out, limited supply. They were $1,000 on eBay. So I had to wait years, and I kept hearing the red ring thing. And I'll wait a little longer. They finally got it fixed with the Falcon chip in 2009 and got the Elite. And I never had any problems. Had a great system. And that was my designated system. And my father-in-law got the PlayStation 3, which was really expensive, like $5.99 or whatever it was. Very expensive at the time for me. And I loved it. I loved the way it looked, and you could play his old PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games on it, but he didn't care about those, and ironically gave me all of his PS2 games, and he just used it for a PlayStation 3. I think he also used it as a Blu-ray player until he finally bought a designated Blu-ray player. But he loved that PS3 and was shocked that I didn't have one. He goes, "Don't you want a PlayStation 3?" Well, yeah, but right now I can't afford it. So a few years later, in 2009, I think it was 2000, it was right when Twisted Metal, the reboot, came out, 2011, Valentine's Day, around there, he gave me as a gift, kind of a birthday gift. He says, "Dean, here's a PlayStation 3. We came out with the second redesign of it, the first Slim. Got 160 gigabyte hard drive, which right now is more than enough. And it looks great. It plays awesome. I love the console, and I'm glad I got it. But each console generation, I've pretty much had just the one console. Then late in that console life cycle, I typically will get the other one. And it's like it's almost the same thing now. Now for the first time, the Xbox One is looking attractive for me. Not because of the 4K built-in Blu-ray player, which is GIMP, by the way. It visually looks fine, but has very poor audio. And a lot of people don't know that. They think, "Oh, I'm getting a 4K Blu-ray player," but it's not a quality. It's like, as a friend of mine says, friend Joe says, it's the Fisher-Price model of Blu-ray players. So you're getting a base model. To me, the people that have the expensive 4K TVs are usually audiophile type people, visual people that want the very best. And so I have an expensive JBL sound system. I have other friends with expensive surround sound, and they're going to want something. You're going to have the great experience of 4K. I would think that you'd want the quality sound to go with it. So based on that, the Xbox One, I'm not buying because it has a built-in player. I'm getting it because it takes advantage of the HDR now, and it upscales, which my TV already does. Now it's upscaling 720p images, which you have to wonder how good they're going to look. Scaled up on my TV. So I don't know if I shut the scaling off on my TV or if my TV will do it anyway with the Xbox One S. I don't know, but I do like the HDR they're building into it. I like the fact that it plays some of the games a little bit better and smoother. I think that's a great thing. That's been one of the complaints for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 is that they just weren't powerful enough to really play the PC type games that we have today. When you see the frame rate stutters of, Fallout 4 and Mad Max and other games, or, the Batman games or what have you, that struggle to keep up, you can see why. I don't know why they didn't come out with a more powerful systems early on, but you can see why they're going to have this mid-cycle influx of these new upgraded consoles. They're going to have the Scorpio coming out a year or so from now, and they've got this PlayStation 4 Pro that's coming out. And I think it's to take advantage of the technology is changing so fast, with 1 out of 3 new TVs sold are being 4K HDR compatible TVs. Last time I was in Costco, that's all I saw was 4K HDR TVs. It's like it's even hard to get the regular 1080p ones now. They still sell some cheap, real cheap models that you can buy if you're looking to save money. You just want a big TV set. They certainly have those, but they're pushing more and more of the 4K thing. I'm not anxious to go out and spend $699 on a new Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player, which is what I was going to get. I was going to get the Samsung one, which now the price on that has dropped down to the 3-something range. But even still, there's been some complaints about the performance with that, even that console. And that's a designated 4K Blu-ray player. So to me, I'd rather get a better one. But then I'm like, do I want to rebuy all of my movies again? I've already bought several films on Blu-ray, and then I've been rebuying them again in 3D so I can take advantage of my 3D television, which is fantastic. I wish there were more movies made in 3D. Now they're coming out with the 4K, so now I've got to buy Mad Max Fury Road again in 4K, which will come, ironically, with the peasant viewing 1080p disc, as well as a DVD, and I don't know if it'll come with a 3D one or not, and it's like, that's another $35 I got to spend for one movie. I already have it, so I got to weigh out, do I want to spend $700 for Panasonic 4K Blu-ray player, and then on top of that, go out and buy maybe, let's say 10 films at, let's say $30 on average, $30 a piece. It's $300 just for 10 movies. And then on top of another $700, it's $1,000. So I can sit and watch my favorite 10 movies and just a little bit better graphics. I only have a 55-inch TV. If I had a bigger TV, maybe sitting farther back from it, then I could probably warrant, the 4K Blu-ray player. But for me, my TV looks so damn good. It upscales so perfectly. Even with a couple of my Criterion films where it upscales them, they're mastered in 4K and it upscales them. It looks fantastic. I can't imagine the picture being any better than it is. I've been playing with the settings on my TV to see if there's HDR. Now that I have the new HDR availability, and I'm playing Mad Max, and I'd swear the lighting looks brighter and the colors look better. There's this lens flare with like rainbow colors in it now that just pop. It does look better. I thought that they were going to be waiting for patches from the developers to see that that's happening. You can let me know in the comments on that. I have searched and researched the hell out of it. I cannot find out any information. Are we getting HDR on everything that we play now, or is it just on certain games, and how do we know when the devs have patched them? There's no information on this. Now I know moving forward with Mankind Divided and the Rise of the Tomb Raider and some games coming out soon on the PlayStation 4, they're going to be having more of this 4K HDR technology moving forward. But right now, I don't know. I don't know whether I have it or not. So I've been doing tests. Some of my friends, I saw a thing on Assassin's Creed where the guy showed it with his HDR on the PlayStation 4 on and off. You can see a difference. So I don't know if that game was patched. I don't know which Assassin's Creed, if it was Unity or one of them, but it looked good. It was like he's climbing, scaling buildings in the bright sunlight, and you can definitely see there's a difference. So I don't know. But I love my TV, and I like taking advantage of the high fidelity picture. So, but the beauty is, the difference between the gaming and movies is that if I get this PS4 Pro, I'm not going to have to go out and buy all new PlayStation 4 games again, because it'll play those same games. That's the beauty of it. Now, if I had to go out and buy the Pro, and then now I got to go out and buy a brand new game, even if it was, let's say it's $40 instead of $60, that still would be a hard pill to swallow. I got to rebuy Mad Max again if I want to play it in the 4K and HDR. I don't know. I may have to pass on this Pro, but the fact that the Pro, through whatever magic Sony has, Sony knows how to maximize the power even out of the existing launch PS4, let alone this new one, which has twice the power. So I see at the very least better frame rates, less screen tearing, a better performing console. So for people like me that want to I was looking to get a bigger newer PS4 anyway as a backup, even like a Slim. I was hoping they came out with a bigger hard drive on the Slim, but for $100 more, for $400 to get a PS4 Pro that does 4K, some of it will do native and some of it will be upscale. I don't care. All I know is it's going to look even better. It's not going to cost me a damn dime. And I have my backup, so now I can put my other PS4 in the master bedroom. To me, it's a hell of a value. I don't see the complaints. I have had a barrage of complaints, and people place no value on this PlayStation 4 Pro. Well, naturally, there are people that are still playing on older 1080p TVs, and they're happy with those. They don't see the graphical increase perhaps the same way that I would, and certainly don't place a value on it. And that's kind of the point of this rant. It's what you place a value on. Someone else said, well, considering that on my Facebook post, I'm posting all the stuff on the PS4 Pro and HDR and 4K TVs and all this stuff lately, going nuts. I had a friend of mine that's a good friend, and he goes, Dean, frankly, to me, the Xbox One S has a built-in Blu-ray player, and it does the Fallout 4 and Skyrim mods, so to me, it's like, this is a way better value than this PS4 Pro thing, period, Well, that's what he places a value on, is those mods. To me, if you want your mods, be a PC gamer, we can go nuts with the mods. Now, I'm not a mod person. I understand why people like them. I know why the mod community like to tinker with things and create their own versions of the game. And sometimes it actually has made the game better, enhanced it visually, from what I understand. Even though I'm not into them, I like the vanilla experience that the developers had created out of the box. I mean, I'm sure Fallout 4 would look beautiful with a more lush, overgrown, The Last of Us type overgrowth on everything. And I've seen some beautiful screenshots and videos of it, but to me, it's like that's not what the designers intended. The designers intended this barren wasteland, and that's, I want to just sit and take in the story that they created. I don't want to watch the Fury Road movie and then have mods where I can make the movie the way I want it and create my own film. I mean, that's an interesting concept, but I like to sit back and enjoy what was created for me. And I quite often use the default controller configurations on most of my video games, because I figured the developers have gone to great lengths to make sure the default setting, difficulty, and controller setting is probably the optimal setting, so I'll use that, although I will invert my aim, as I'm an inverted aim person. That's from playing so many flight games on the C64. And early on, I've learned you have to with the flight games. I couldn't go do that and then jump back into shooting. And to me, it just makes more sense as you're raising the gun up to push back with the stick. But that's just how I do it. I've been doing the inverted aim thing for so long, but getting off topic. So, to someone that likes mods, yeah, that's not a value. I don't like this PlayStation 4. I don't get mods. I don't get a Blu-ray player. These are people that don't even have a 4K TV. So to me, you have to wonder if they're people that are just complaining to complain. It's like every new thing that comes out, people instantly have to scrutinize it. They're right on guard. They're trying to rip us off. I've only had my console 3. They're forcing me to buy a new console. No one's forcing you to buy it. It's just for those that want a 4K HDR experience of the same games. You don't have to buy it. If you happen to have a 4K TV and you have an extra $400 laying around and you think you could take advantage of that 4K streaming of Netflix and YouTube, a better looking picture, irregardless of whether it's native or upscale, checkerboard, I don't understand any of it. All I know is at the end of the day, you have a much better looking picture for $400. To me, and I posted a thing about how I'll never have to go to PC gaming with this PlayStation 4, and my God, I had people haven't commented on my Facebook thing in a year or so, all of a sudden come out of the woodwork, obvious PC elitist snobs. Well, I'm telling you right now, your PS4 Pro, it won't do mods and this and that. I'm like, I don't care. All I know is I get all of my PlayStation 4 games are going to look that much better. I don't have to rebuy them like I have to with my movies and a 4K Blu-ray player. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm not bashing on the Xbox One S. I like it. I want to get it for Forza Horizon 3, just for that one game alone. Just a 500 gigabyte entry-level Xbox One S. Now, the new Gears of War 4 looks outstanding. I love it. I've seen these great storm effects. in HDR, and I would be real intrigued to get that. I like Gears of War 1 and 2. I never played the third one. And eventually, after I got done playing them, I traded them in for something else. It wasn't something that I hung on to as an experience. I thought the shooting felt a little weak, anemic. I just didn't have the oomph when you shot people. But if they're good cover-based shooters, I take nothing away from them. Visually, I think they look outstanding. And I've got friends that love the Gears series, and that's fine. But the new one does look very good. So, because of this new HDR gimmick that Microsoft is now taking advantage of, that's perfect for me. Now, people say, "Oh, just wait and get the Scorpio." Well, I don't really care about the Scorpio as much right now. Now, down the road, I'd like to see what it offers, and it may offer new things that we don't know yet. It may be better than the PS4 Pro. I don't know. Everyone's already saying it is. I wouldn't count your chickens before they hatch. And who knows what upgrades and firmware things Sony will have between now and when it comes out to where the PS4 Pro could be even better. Or if Sony's going to say, hey, guess what? Yeah, you get the Scorpio now or wait a year, and in 2018 we'll come out with the PS5, instead of the PS4. And who knows, it could blow the Scorpio right out of the water. So Sony I think was brilliant. They're giving something of value cheap for $400. So you get a 1 terabyte hard drive. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a 2 terabyte, but I'm happy with the one. With my small collection of PS4 games, that's enough for me. And I'm sure you'll have ways that you'll be able to upgrade the internal hard drive, or maybe they'll make it down the road to where you'll have an external setup like what you can do with the Xbox One. That's great. So to me, it's a win. If you're going to get a PS4, you want the best possible performance for $400 for what I paid for my launch one. And who knows? I mean, Sony will probably bundle it with this game and that down the road, I'm sure. So to me, it's a great value. But don't be so quick to bag on those that want something, that see the value in it, because you're picking apart them as a person and their taste, what they like. Look, if my friends want to play PC games, they want to spend $1,000 or $700 on a new expensive graphics card deal so you can play better, I'm happy for them. I give their posts on Facebook a thumbs up. Hey, that's great. I hope it works out for you. I hope you can play your games in 100 frames a second, and they look even better at 4K, and that's wonderful. If you're into that, that's fine. But don't put a wet blanket over someone else that likes something for their own reasons. I have friends of mine, my friend Mike, Vampire Mike, just bought what the hell did he get? One of those Wii U things. He wanted one, he shopped it out, got a great deal on a used one, which included some games. Now that's something that he's excited about. I didn't go on his video, well, that's a weak system, doesn't have any games. I didn't shit on it. I say, hey, that's great. There's a couple games that I would like to get a Wii U for. Congratulations. I mean, it's all it takes. Just be nice. You don't have to shit on it and put it down because it doesn't fit your personal criteria of value. We all place things of value. Now, I don't place a value on the Mario Kart games and a lot of those little simple, kiddie. That's how I look at them. No offense. I know these are iconic games, but when I bought a Super NES, I didn't have those games either. I played, F-15 Strike Eagle. I played more military-type sims and F1 games and Outlander and games like those that were more action-based, fun games that I like with wonderful sprites and colors and sounds and what have you. So I never had a regular NES, and I wasn't into a lot of those, Donkey Kong-type games, as fun as they are. At the arcades, I like to play those sometimes. Donkey Kong Jr., my friend has that machine, and I love to play it. It's a blast. Sitting in his garage, getting loaded and playing Donkey Kong Jr., it's fun. But I have no desire to play it at home in my console, but that's just me. I like the shooters, FPS games, and racing games. So everyone's got a different, places different values on things. For hardware, like I said, right now, because of money, I'm probably going to have to wait on, I've already had to wait on the Xbox One S. I was hoping things would be going along better with my full-time job that I had a month or so ago. I figured by now I'd have the Xbox One S. I wanted to get Forza Horizon 3 at launch. It just didn't materialize. And I probably will have to skip and miss out on the PS4 Pro too, for the same reasons. But it's not because I don't place a value in it, because I do. I place a value on both of those consoles equally. I like to have both. But typically, I'm seeing the pattern is I typically will have one console initially, buy the bulk of 80% of my games for that console, and then later buy, that the price of the other console drops down and those games, and then I can buy the other console for its exclusives, which is what I would do with the Microsoft. So last time around it was the Xbox 360 and the Xbox before it that were my consoles of choice. This time it just so happens it's Sony. So I judge each console for what it offers me as an offline gamer that likes big single player campaigns. The PlayStation 4 works for me. I don't like Windows 8. I don't like the weird interface at all with the Xbox One. I've been over my friend's house. I've seen it. I'll watch it. I don't pick it apart. I've noticed it. And for me, I'm not a big fan of it. Even though I do like the cleanness of the fonts and the black with the white letters. There's aspects of it visually that I do like. I always like the Microsoft little logos and fonts and graphics. They have a clean look. And for offline gaming, I think it's a great value. But for me, the PS4 Pro is a great thing of value, just like my TV is. A lot of people don't see the. I'm not going to go out and spend all this money. They're forcing me to buy a 4K. No one's forcing you to buy anything. If you don't like 4K or high dynamic range, you don't have to buy it. Or wait 5 or 10 years until the technology is dirt cheap and then get it then. No one's going to judge you for it. That's fine. I have to do the same thing. I have to pick and choose as to what I can play and what I can't play, what I can collect and what I can't. Especially now, today, where money is so tight, I can't go apeshit and get everything in sight. So I have to be very selective. I'm getting literally just like 4 or 5 new games a year now, which is unheard of. I used to get like 15, at least 15 brand new AAA games a year. I can't spend that kind of money anymore. I can't rationalize it. When I have a wife and a house and things in an old 1977 house that are falling apart, it's like it's a money pit that never ends. My truck, thank God, is reliable, but I have to go out and buy a brand new one. I get offers in the mail all the time. Well, we'll give you top trade-in value and get you into a brand new Dodge Hemi truck for even cheaper. But it's like, thanks, but my truck has value for me. It's paid off. That's where the value is for me with that. But I take nothing against the new Dodge truck. I certainly would love to have one. I think the interiors are much nicer in them. And there's a lot of nice refinements. It's the same thing with consoles. It's like the Chevy Camaro. We were looking at them recently. My wife was thinking of getting one. She's making a lot, like $1,000 take home more a month on her new job. She could easily afford a new Camaro. Let's go look at them. So we went down to look at them. They'll give us a marginal trade for the Malibu, which I'm not thrilled about. So we looked at the V6 one, and for like $10,000 more, you can get the one with a Corvette motor. Well, to me, I'd want the best one. I'd want the one with a Corvette motor. To me, that's like the PS4 Pro. You're getting the best power. Yeah, they look roughly the same, but you're getting the best one. Of course, you pay for that. You pay more. Now, there's a big difference between paying $100 more for a console or $10,000 more for an engine in a car, but depends on what's of value to you. My wife having a fast Corvette motor that goes 0 to 60 in a few seconds doesn't matter to her. The fact that it goes up to 200 miles an hour, she doesn't care about that. All she wants is something that looks stylish, that has her Pandora and all her little radio gadgets. So for her, the V6 one is perfect for her. That's the PlayStation 4 Slim. Then that's fine for you. Each person places a value on different things. So you can add your 2 cents in the comments. Naturally, I would love to hear how you feel about it. What are the things that you place a value on with it? Looking at a new console. Some of you won't go the new gen. You just won't do it. And I understand. I validate your reasons why. I don't agree with all of the reasons why, but I validate some of them. And I can understand it. That I can validate, is that I understand why you're doing it. And I've wrestled with that myself, and if it goes the way of all digital or streaming only, I will definitely jump off the train. To me, I don't place a value on that at all. I place a value on physical games and physical disc. That's what I place a value on. That's what I want in my collection. Now, and I know there's, the new PlayStation 4, those games are just a key, and you still have to download the game and all that. But at the end of the day, as long as you have the working console with the original hard drive and the game that goes with it, you'll be able to play it, which is my point. So I don't do server-based games. So I obviously place no value on server-based gaming whatsoever for me. But for my friends that do, that's fine. I don't have to hate it. I don't have to put multiplayer down. It's just not for me. It's not my way to pass time or to sharpen my skills. I like to do it against AI. That's why I'm hoping they'll make this new the Death Star DLC and the Bespin DLC for the new Star Wars Battlefront. I'm really hoping that that's going to be an offline thing down the road, because that would be awesome. I'm really excited. So I kind of feel left out. And maybe there's people that don't have a 4K TV and they feel left out. They see this new PS4 Pro. They feel threatened by something new. Well, I don't have that. I don't have thousands to shell out for this. That's understandable. Right now, I couldn't do it. I couldn't buy a new 4K TV today. But a year ago, when I had money coming out of my ass because I had a bunch of huge jobs back, I had a bunch of $5,000 and $6,000 jobs for like a 4-month period, just back to back. I had tens of thousands of dollars burning a Halley's Comet through my pocket. So we went nuts and upgraded the house. We got a new roof for $15,000. I got a new TV for a couple $1,000 after getting $1,600 off on it. And we bought some things for the house that we really needed. But then we kind of blew through all that money. I couldn't do it today. So I validate it's not everyone's cup of tea, but don't shit on those that are looking forward to something good. Because we all place value on different things. Some people won't buy a game. I won't pay $12 for an old video game, But they'll pay, $120 for a Super NES game. But to them, they don't place a value on, PS2 or Xbox games. It depends on each person. Each person places a value on things. I have no Super NES games. I hate to think of what I'm going to have to pay for the 10 to 12 games that I want for that system. Some of them will probably be cheap and $20, $25. Some of them could be very expensive. I don't know. I haven't researched it too much yet. That's one of the last frontiers for my retro gaming, but that's another story. Anyway, thanks guys. Put in the comments how you feel about value. What is a value to you in a video game? What is worth your $60 for a video game? What is worth the price of a new console for you? I know many of you don't like this mid-model upgrades, with the PlayStation PS4 Pro. I understand that, but tell me how you feel either way. I'd love to know in the comments. Because really, value is what it's all about with our hobby. We have to be selective. Some of us don't have to worry about that because we get plenty of money. And to us, just having, more is better. And the more we can have, the better it is. And that's how we view it. Those days are kind of passé. I kind of hit that bell curve, hit that apogee. And now I'm coming down the backside where my collecting is unfortunately slowing down. I can't afford the Panasonic 3DO now, at least not right now. I can't afford an Xbox, One S right now. I mean, I'm going to have to pick and choose from here on out. So value to me is something that's important. I will try to get this PS4 Pro any way that I can when time permits. I'm very excited about it. I think it's a really good value for me. And I'd like to get that Xbox One S for the same thing. It'd be a really good value. I'd pay the price of that console, that Xbox One S, just to play Forza Horizon 3 because it looks that damn good to me. That's something I place with value. So to me, that's like Hemingway's pheasant hunting is worth whatever price you have to pay for it. So if I have to pay $400 to play Forza Horizon 3, then that's what it costs. And when I can afford it, I'll certainly do it. So anyway, that's my long-winded diatribe on value. Let me know what value means to you in regards to your collection, games today, and consoles. I'd love to know. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your games.